And welcome inside the Pitt studios for the Jeff Capel Show. Jeff Hathorn here with the Panthers head coach here in the Peterson Event Center. I don't know if when you came in, Jeff, you realized when the salt is down before it snows, it's real.
Well, the snow was coming down when I came in.
Is it starting?
Yeah, it started.
Here we
It's
go.
already starting to form some dust on the sidewalks and things, streets.
Are you used to it now?
I'm used to it now, yeah. I've gotten used to it. I don't think we'll ever have an incident here like it was on 95 a couple of days ago.
That's crazy.
Just for 7 inches.
Is that typical, though, south?
Yeah.
Stuff like that?
When I grew up in North Carolina, if it was forecast for snow, we got a half day. If it was just in the forecast. And
Grew up in
if
the
it
wrong
snowed,
place.
yeah, if it snowed, like if it actually came down and stuck, you may be out of school for a week just because they're not prepared to deal with it.
Louisville, it seems like there's always something crazy when you guys play at Louisville. It was an interesting game yesterday. First off, what's kind of the message to the guys after the game last night?
Well, my message is, we have to do more. That's like more is required if we want to win these games. We've played 3 conference games and we've lost them by a total of 5 points. And all 3 of them with under 8 minutes left, we've had the lead. And we haven't been able to hold on. And all of them with, 2 minutes or 3 minutes left, it's either been tied or we've been winning. And we haven't been able to sustain that. And some of it is shot making from the other team, but a lot of it is self-inflicted. We don't block out, we don't get a rebound. We have something that's working and we deviate from that. We don't defend the ball screen the right way. Look, I'm cool with missed shots as long as they're good shots. I shouldn't say I'm cool with it, but I understand it. I get that, but it's just the mental mistakes that we've made that we have to be better. And so what I said to him afterwards is that winning requires more. It requires more. It requires concentration. It requires discipline for 40 minutes, but it's also discipline every day in your approach and things like that. And that's where we have to get better. If we can learn to do that, then we'll have a chance to not be close, but to win. And the thing is that if we do those things, then in my opinion, it doesn't come down to the last second or the last minute or the last 30 seconds.
You mentioned mental. Does it get to a point where you get a minute or 2 left where I'm not saying that you get a mental block or you're scared, but maybe you're trying so hard to overcome what's happened in the past that it's just not the right mindset?
Yeah. I mean, that certainly can happen. Look, as a player, when I was a sophomore, we were 2-14 in the conference. We played for the national championship when I was a freshman. We were 13-18 overall, 2-14 in the conference, and a lot of our games were lost like that. We were lost in the last minute, and it did get to a point where it was like, okay, I hope we don't blow this one. And if that's your thought process, then you probably have already blown it. Whereas the year before, when we were really good and ranked number 1 in the country, if it was a tight game, I mean, we would, on the court, we would say, we'd huddle and, hey, guys, how much do you think we're going to win this by? And so,
Really?
yeah, and so it that could be a part of it. But, again, we have to grow up from that. We have a group. And, earlier this week, I should say, we faced adversity in a different way with COVID. Other people have done it, but this was our first time dealing with it. We had 5 guys in health and safety protocols that tested positive, 5 players and 2 managers, so a total of 7. So we had practices, man, Monday and Tuesday with only 10 guys. And so that's hard. And you're trying to prepare and things like that. We traveled to Louisville with 10 guys, and then those other 4 guys, because Dan couldn't travel, met us there Wednesday morning. And so, that was difficult. And I'm proud of our guys. Like I've said it over and over. Like I'm proud because we've continued to show up. Jeff, I think we've gotten better. That's the thing. I think we've gotten better each and every game, but it's not enough. And that's my message to the guys. Like, it's not enough. We can't be happy and content with being close. And until we get to a point until they get to a point where they're not satisfied with that and they're angry about it, and then it's not going to change. We have to change it. We have to be the ones to make it, to make it different.
Well, you're dealing with COVID, but you did get an extra player back. I want to talk about the return of Ithiel Horton as we continue here on the Jeff Capel Show on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.
Rattles it home.
Gonna take it all the way for the stop. What an atmosphere it is in this building.
Season tickets are now available. Voice of the Panthers, Bill Hillgrove. It's Jeff Capel Show here on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network. And for all the things that have gone wrong, you got to welcome Ithiel Horton back. And in his first game, he had 13 points at half. What does that say about this kid?
Well, first and foremost, it was great to have him back out there. It's been great to have him in practice. For us, we really couldn't be around him for the 2 months, as well. We couldn't work him out. He could come to the gym, but we couldn't be there. It had to be after hours. For the longest time, he wasn't able to use the weight room, anything like that. So just to be around him, Ithiel has an energy. He plays with an energy. He has a pop. He has a different speed than anyone that we've had so far on our current roster. And then when he hit the first shot, I thought he passed up the first shot that he had. It was a corner three. I thought he passed it up. I knew that he was going to be nervous. I knew he was excited. I knew he was going to be anxious. But then when he hit the first one, that kind of opened it up, and our guys were looking for him, and he made some big-time shots for us. And, it just gives us another weapon. Obviously, shooting has been something that we've struggled with this year. Coming into the season, I knew that had the potential to be an area of major concern for us. But we felt like with Ithiel and with Nike, we had two guys that, had made a lot of threes. Ithiel's a career 40% three-point shooter. Nike has made a lot. Last year, I think it was about 44%. So we felt like with those two guys, and once they went out, we knew that it was going to be a struggle for us. So having him back out there, the spacing that it provides for us, it opened some things up for John, because you got a guy out there that you have to respect. So he was able to get some one-on-one down there. And I think as we go forward, he'll get more into the rhythm of playing. He'll get his wind back. And I think, Ithiel will be even better as we go forward.
Well, he and Mo Gee has really found his game from outside, too.
Yeah, Mo has really played well over the last, 5-6 games. I think he's starting to get more comfortable. He's starting to pick his spots to understand. He's shooting the basketball from the three a little bit more consistent. He's understanding when to cut, and John is finding him. He's understanding that there's a lot of attention on John, and he can take advantage of that. And so he's done some really good things for us.
Coming up, we're going to talk to Milan Brown. You guys go way back, where you gave him, I think, his first college coaching job.
My dad did.
Your dad did.
Yep.
What really impresses you about what he brings to your program?
Well, first of all, he has a lot of experience. He was an assistant for a while, then became a head coach, and a successful head coach at Mount St. Mary's and at Holy Cross. His knowledge of the game, he was a very good player, a very good player at Howard University. But his knowledge for the game, he's been around really good players. His ability to relate to players. For me personally, he's a calm demeanor guy. He's even-keeled, where sometimes when I'm super emotional or may get super negative at times, he's able to kind of help balance me. And I think every head coach needs that. I think the fact that he has been a head coach, he's sat in the chair, I think he understands it, which is very, very helpful in certain situations. And I think he's really good on the court with our guys, especially our guards, with teaching them how to see the game, helping them individually work on their games, and helping them get better.
Well, coming up, we're going to talk to Milan and about that work with the guards and the addition of Ithiel and some of the other guys as well as we continue. It's the Jeff Capel Show here on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.
Rattles it home.
Gonna take it all It is in this building.
Season tickets are now available. And welcome back to the Jeff Capel Show. We are joined by Associate Head Coach Milan Brown. And I know it's snowing out there, but you coached at Holy Cross. Like this, you're good, right?
This is easy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Snow is never easy, but yes.
Even Worcester, Mass, like this.
We've seen those 12 and 15 inches days for sure.
We talked last segment with Jeff about Ithiel Horton. To get him back, just from the guard standpoint, I know you work with the guards. Let's start with just Ithiel himself. To be able to come back and have 13 in the first half when he hasn't been around the guys for 2 months, that's pretty impressive.
That was impressive. It was great first of all to see him back out there. I'm pretty sure coaches said he has a different pop to him, and we need his shooting obviously, and that's what he brings to the table. But he's a veteran guy, and most of the time, as you can see around the country, the older teams are winning unless you're able to recruit 4, 5, 6 really high major, high level freshmen. So he gives us a veteran presence as well. You don't know how he's going to act when he gets back from being out that long, but I think the experience of him already being a player in college before helped. And then once he saw the first one go through, that's usually all it takes for a shooter. And next thing you know, he's got 13 points in 10 minutes.
Well, I'm sure he hears like, okay, Ithiel's back. He's going to jack threes, or he's going to make threes for us and help us all out. And that might get to be – is your message just, hey, go play your game? What's your conversation to him?
Yeah, it was more so just we don't need you to do anything crazy. We don't need him to feel like we need you to save us. That was the one thing I think we were all a little bit concerned about, is that when he comes back to feel like, okay, now it's I need to save the team, and he just needs to bring his piece to the table. And he actually said that, which was great. To be honest with you, before the game, I left him alone. I didn't want to add to the angst, and but I also had to trust that he would be able to make the plays that were available for him. And he settled in nice because he turned down a few shots early, and that's natural. He was nervous, and it was great that the guys found him in his shooting pocket a couple of times, and he was able to do the things that we knew he can do, which is make shots.
What does it do for the rest of the guards just to, okay, I don't have to put so much on my back?
Right. Well, first and foremost, it gives us another good player, and you have to have good players if you're going to be in games and win games. So it gives us some balance as well, as far as guys not maybe necessarily having the log. Not that guys won't play 30-plus minutes, because as we've seen, and Coach Capel does this, if guys are rolling, he likes to play with those guys and let them keep going and then battle through the experiences that happen in the game. But anytime you get a good player back, especially that handles the ball, because as we always talk to the guys, the most important thing on the court is the basketball. Not any person, not an official, not the coach. It's the ball, because it's the only thing that counts. And so when you have somebody with some experience that can put the ball in the basket and hopefully help keep the ball out of it, it's just a big help to our team. And again, we don't want him to feel like he has to be Superman, and I don't think he did that. And so he's just ready to contribute, so it's great.
All right, I want to ask you about some of the other guards. As we continue, it's Associate Head Coach Milan Brown. It's Jeff Capel Show here on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network. Jamarius Burton, one of those players we were discussing, joined by Associate Head Coach Milan Brown. And Jamarius, this guy hit that big shot against St. John's. He played 37 minutes last night, despite not practicing since the Notre Dame game. And
right.
He's a warrior as far as time on the court for you guys.
Absolutely. It was that was impressive to be able to see him, that he was out and can't practice and quarantine and things of that nature, and to come back in and have to play with a mask. And it did so his mental and physical toughness too, to be able to be ready to go. But he does a great job of studying. I got all the film that Jake and so did O, and those guys were getting it from a scouting standpoint, so you knew he'd be prepared. But that was impressive. And he's been a veteran guy, which we needed.
And you kind of forget, like Nike last year, like he's only played a handful of games ever for you guys, and he's still trying to learn things with your system.
He's a veteran guy as far as in terms of playing basketball, but with us, he's a freshman, so he's still learning Coach Capel and his mannerisms and things that he wants, his feel for the game, what we're trying to accomplish, because he's seeing it. His experience is great, but also this is his third team, so he sometimes he may have a lot of things going through his mind of what he's been taught, but he's a willing learner, and so that's big for us.
We're joined by Associate Head Coach Milan Brown, and we've talked to Femi a couple of times after games, and he takes a lot of it on himself. Like, hey, I need to bring more energy. The team feeds off me. How much is Femi relied on in those situations to be that guy?
Yeah, and that's one of the things we talked with him about is that when you are playing the point guard position, that's part of the job. And you need to be an extension of your head coach, and the energy level, whether you're a big talker or not, but they need to know that you are right. And he's done a good job with that. And we need to do a little bit better, obviously, so we can finish a few of these games, but he has been big in putting us in position to win the games. And now the last step is understanding the last piece we have to win it and what those winning basketball plays are. And he understands that his energy is big. He talks before every game, goes down the keys, the personnel. He's doing it before the coaches do. So we appreciate that about him.
How much more is there from Femi as far as like his talent level?
I don't think he's actually come close to scratching how good he can possibly be. And I think part of that is him understanding and continuing to embrace the work that is involved in order to get to the place where he wants to go and we want him to go. He wants to be a pro. We want him to be a pro. But the best way to do that is Pitt winning basketball games, because then everybody eats. And I think he's embraced that. He's starting to embrace the work. But with his size, athleticism, ability to get to the basket, the last piece will be just him continuing to be a consistent shooter. And then when he does that, now he can control the game.
All right, coming up, if anyone should be running the scout for this week, it should be Milan. We'll explain why he might know Boston College better than anybody as we continue. It's the Jeff Capel Show here on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.
Going to take it all the way to the stump. What an atmosphere it is in this building.
Season tickets are now available. Joined by Associate Head Coach Milan Brown, and you start as a high school assistant. You work for Jeff's dad, Jim Phelan at Mount St. Mary's, and also Coach Grant, Earl Grant, who brought you in at the College of Charleston. You guys won a championship together, and now he is at Boston College. I guess that's a typical basketball story, right? What a small world basketball is.
It is a small world, and as we've laughed and joked about, I root for him every game he's coaching, except for the 2 or 3 he may see us. I want those guys to be terrible when they play against us. But one of the best men that I know, period, basketball in the real world, whatever the case may be. He's just a really, really good man.
What can Pitt fans expect to see from a BC team that he coaches?
They'll be competitive for sure. They're going to first and foremost try to defend and rebound the basketball.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's one of those things with him where he, like every coach, has what they really want to be about, and that he wants his guys to respect the game. He wants them to earn everything that they are able to grasp. But he won't be able to sleep at night if they can't defend and rebound. Yeah, I can tell you that. So he likes the ball to go through the basket, but he wants them to defend and rebound. And I know he's had some ups and downs there now, which he's fully expected, but they'll be competitive. I know that.
John Hughley's going to join us. Before he stepped in studio, you were saying about how you're so glad you don't have to coach him.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
as we look at him offset.
I am happy that this the big fella that you are going to talk to next, I'm happy he's on our side. And if he continues to work and listen like he's been doing, I'm not going to put too much on – well, yeah, I am going to put too much on his play because I know he can handle it. He'll be one of the best that's ever worn a jersey here.
Wow.
If he wants to do it every day, he will be one of the best people that is put on a jersey here at Pittsburgh. And he's making those steps. Coach Capel's pointing him in the right direction. Tim and Jason do a great job with him on and off the court. His teammates have embraced who he is. He's continuing to learn. You know, he had a shortened season last year too. And so when we play the opponents each and every night, they know who he is. They feel him. And they better send double teams down there because if they don't,
And then you better kick it out to your guards.
yeah, then they're going to have to do it because if they don't, as Shaq would say, barbecue chicken.
Milan, hey, good luck on Saturday.
I appreciate it.
It is ALS Awareness Game on Saturday, 4 o'clock here on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network. When we continue, the aforementioned John Hughley will join us here on the Jeff Capel Show on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network. Voice of the Panthers, Bill Hillgrove, and we are joined by John Hughley, the sophomore from Cleveland, Ohio. How about that game Monday, John?
Man, it was a tough game, man. Sheesh, man. It was a tough, fun game, man.
Do you hear it from people here? I mean, are you like an all-out Browns guy?
Yeah, I love the Browns. Die-hard fan, man. Die-hard fan. It's crushing to see us lose to the Steelers, man. But it's okay, though. Next year.
Do you get into other sports as an athlete? Like, do you enjoy watching other sports, or you just want to get away from it when you have free time?
I like watching basketball and, like, football. I like baseball a little bit. I'm an Indians guy.
Are you a Cavs guy?
Oh, yeah.
And by the way,
I'm more of a LeBron fan, though. I'm a LeBron fan.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you could be both.
Yeah.
I mean, when they're not playing each other.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you been to Cavs games?
Oh, yeah, definitely. A couple.
So I love this fact about Cavs games. When opponents get on the foul line, in order to get the fans riled up when the opponents are on the line, they show a Steelers logo, right, on the Jumbotron, which just cracks me up and people get fired up because they don't want to see that logo.
Yeah, I like the Steelers, though, you know. I'm here in Pittsburgh, so I do root for them.
Good answer.
Yes, sir.
Good answer. One of the things I've noticed about you lately is your footwork. It really seems. How much time do you put in to working on that?
I'm gonna say I put in a lot of time, like off season, just working on my balance. You know, I always had good footwork. It's just knowing where you at really on the court.
And that's really the thing, because when you spin your head, like, you've got to know, especially with some of the guys you're playing with at this level.
Definitely, it's just like having a feel. That all comes with like having a feel for the game, really.
How much has that improved? Do you feel even over the course of this season?
I think it has improved like dramatically, just from seeing double teams and seeing just different defenses. I gotta like know the court more differently, so I gotta. Like, say, if I'm spin baseline, it's probably helped there. I got to spin back, you know, just knowing the court, basically.
I was thinking about the Virginia game. Like, when you would get that ball in the post, and you couldn't have it for a half a second, and the double team was coming. I know it's got to be frustrating. Like, how do you deal with that?
You know, it's frustrating, but it's fun, though. It's like, because it's like teams got to respect me now. So it's like I always say, it's like I get to create for others now once teams double me, and that's like the best part of my game, I can say. All
right, so take us in your head. You get the ball down low, that double team comes. Like, what's going through your mind about what you want to do with the basketball?
So first, once the double team comes, I know, like, usually 9 times out of 10, Mo's going to cut. So that's my first instinct. I'm going to lock with Mo. But I'm not going to lock too much on Mo because I know I got other areas around the court. So if I don't see Mo, then I see corner. Will be corner, basically. And then you got the wing. So it's just everything is just open. You just there. It's like a puzzle.
All right, so when teams don't double team you and you got it. Like,
it's a nightmare. Game over. Game over.
Like, are there moves that are spinning through your head? Like when you realize you're one-on-one with the defender, take us through that moment.
Go get a bucket. It's just time to go score. Like, when you one-on-one, I feel like I could overpower anybody. And then, like, not even overpower, I can have finesse with it too. Tim
O'Toole is the big man coach, or works with you down low. He's a fairly intense guy.
Yeah, definitely.
What's it like working with him?
It's amazing working with T.O. because he's going to bring it every day. He's going to bring the energy to you every day.
Yeah, I don't think, and I've had the opportunity to watch some shoot-arounds, like, every drill of shoot around is
It's
like
intense.
it's like
It's
a
intense.
drill in a game.
Yeah, it's intense. You like, and it's with T.O. You're gonna get the same thing every day with T.O. Like energy, everything.
Are there times where you feel like you might put too much on you, like, hey, I've got to be the guy or I've got to be the scorer?
Never, because I know I got other good players around me that can score. Like me, I'm not a player who cares too much about scoring. Like I said, I like to get others involved because I know I can score.
I remember Dwan Blair saying that he loved the fact that he was going to own that rebound.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have that same mentality for rebounding? Like, this is my place.
Yeah, definitely at times, but it's like I'm playing with other guys who also who can rebound, Mo out there rebounds, Will attacks the glass. So it's just when my opportunity comes there, I attack it hard.
What do you make of Mo from 3 recently?
Oh man, he's playing spectacular, just hitting his shots. He's been very consistent and locked in.
By the way, his story is amazing. He grew 10 inches in high school.
Dang,
I
I
don't know if you
didn't
know
even know that.
Matt Pliska, who he
I did not know that.
Can you imagine that? Like, you walk in as a guard and then you leave as like this huge center.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
He's a heck of a player. More with John Hughley as we continue. It's the Jeff Capel Show here on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network. And we are joined by John Hughley, Panthers leading scorer. You wear 23.
Yes, sir.
Is that Jordan? Is it that obvious? Or
Nah,
no?
it's not Jordan.
It's not Jordan.
Not Jordan. LeBron, man. LeBron all the way.
You are the first person I think I've ever talked to that's worn 23 because of LeBron.
LeBron, man. That's the GOAT.
But you're not going to change to 6?
Nah, not 6.
Although you
not
can
6.
change in college to 6.
Yeah.
What do you love about his game?
He's willing to pass. Like that's why I get my vision from LeBron. Like just knowing the court and like he knows the court like it's like his chest out there.
Have you met him?
No, I never met him before.
Because I want to say he's like your side. Like he's so big
Yeah.
to handle the ball like he does. I think that's what's amazing. What is your routine before games, John?
So before games, I like to I come up to the gym, have my headphones and music on, and then we have like a practice walkthrough, and then after the walkthrough, I just chill up here to the game time and just chill in the training room, get stretched with my music on.
Do you have the same playlist?
It depends. It depends on the day. Depends on the day.
So if you have a good game, will you bring back that same?
Sometimes
list?
the music just going shuffle. I just press shuffle.
So you're not superstitious?
Nah,
in
not
that regard?
superstitious. Nah,
Never been?
never been.
What attracted you immediately to Pitt? Why did you know that, hey, Pitt is my place?
I felt the love from Coach Capel was very genuine, and like he was just telling me like what he could see me doing is like he kept his promise with me, and he was honest.
You had a rarity for a high school coach. You had a high school coach who played in the NBA.
Yeah,
Was he a storyteller? Like, what did you learn from him?
man, Coach Chet, that's like my big brother, man. I learned everything from him. He coming from the inner city where he came from, and his story was like that's like my big brother, man.
And he guided you to where you're at now.
Definitely.
All right. Well, John, hey, thanks for stopping by.
No
Good
problem.
luck against Boston College.
Yes, sir.
It's a 4 o'clock tip. We want to thank Jeff Capel, thank John, thank Milan Brown, Matt Pliska, Amanda King, Cale Berger, the entire Pitt TV staff that's here with us today. You've been listening to the Jeff Capel Show. A reminder, Saturday, Panthers against Boston College. Pregame starts at 3:30, tip at 4 o'clock. It's ALS Awareness Day right here on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.